at 1 o'clock, which means it is time for a video tutorial. So let me just double check over here and see what's going on. Hey, Glenda, yay, that means I can see comments today. Last week was problematic to say the least. So it looks like I'm transmitting. That's excellent. Alrighty, so I have a fun fold card for you today, and it's called the Impossible card. It's an impossible fold. A teammate of mine did a card on it just recently and reminded me that I like this fold. It's kind of fun because people look at it and they're like, now, how in the world did you do that? You can see right here, it's kind of oddly done. It's not very difficult, but you do have to kind of think, and it's kind of like, you know, rubbing your head and patting your tummy. Hey, Glenda, are you not seeing anything now? Hi, Faye. I'm showing that we're transmitting. Can anybody see me? Debbie or Faye, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see video? Glenda, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Glenda. Okay, Glenda's good to go. Okay, good. So we're good. I think it was just probably a lag in the video going live. Okay, so here's the card that we're going to make. It is an impossible card. I've modified it just a little bit. Normally the card would maybe only have this part, but I have modified it so that it's on a solid card base. And the beauty of doing that is you can flip it over and give yourself room to write a message on the back, because this is pretty small, not a lot of room for writing. Also, it would be kind of awkward. So I think it's a good mod. I had to do a little engineering on it, a little math, so bear with me if I bork this up. Okay, hey Pam. Okay, good. So everybody can see and can hear. Yay, thank you so much for that. I have used two sets. The first is the welcoming window, which is already out. I did not use the bundled dies. I just used a couple of the, I used the sentiment here, and then I used a couple of the images on the back. But the star of the show, of course, is the Brilliant Wings dies, and that brings us this beautiful DSP cut butterfly and the vellum detailed butterfly that is on top of it. Now remember, this goes live next Tuesday on the 2nd, and my special bundles are still available. So you can get the bundle and you can purchase some additional DSPs if you'd like, all with a savings around 10 to 15%, depending on how you squint your eyes and do your math. So do get in on that, and I'll get them ordered first thing on Tuesday for y'all. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I had to do a little engineering, so if I bork it, just, you know, sigh and roll your eyes. Just don't let me know you've rolled your eyes. Okay? Hey, Kathy. Hi, Rosie. I appreciate you coming. Faith and Judy, thank you for joining today. Alrighty, so just so you know, I've used the Butterfly Bijou DSP on both cards, and I actually used the same exact DSP, but I changed from a Bermuda Bay matte to Misty Moonlight, and I also used a different butterfly because I had one of these little Misty Moonlight dudes cut out, and I wanted to use him. Okay, so there you go. But it's essentially the same. Everything else will be the same. And the beauty of our DSPs, as you all know, is if there's colors on the list of colors for the DSPs, then you can pretty well take to the bank that that's going to be good colors to put together, right? So I just looked at the list of colors that Stampin' Up! Gave me, and I saw I could use Bermuda Bay or Misty Moonlight and mix and match throughout the whole spectrum that's on this card base. So I feel very comfortable with my color choices, either Bermuda Bay or Misty Moonlight, whichever one that you like better. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is I'll have all the card cuts on tomorrow. I have a piece of Blushing Bride, and I'm going to adhere one of the Calypso Coral pieces from Butterfly Bijou to it with some liquid glue. Hey, Rosie, I'm glad it's coming. That is good. You are going to love it. Oh my goodness, you guys, I saw the greatest idea, and I'm so going to have to do it. I am going to purchase, so I've got this one, and you know that the butterflies are all on a single stamp. I'm going to buy me another one of these, just the stamp set. And I'm going to cut them apart so that I have all of these beautiful butterflies that I can do individually. That's like $17. It's so worth it. So that is on my next thing to order, is a second stamp so that I can cut it up. So I'll have the full up one that matches the die cut perfectly, and then I'll have a separate one that I can mix and match. Yay! Yay! Hi Heidi, hi Carol, Teresa, glad you could join. Hey Kathy. Okay, so that is started. Now we're going to do the big impossible fold. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my trimmer. Now, this is a piece of Misty Moonlight. It is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score across the long side at 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to set the left side at 2 inches, and I'm going to roll my scoring tool up because I really would rather not cut it. And I'm just going to score there in the center. Okay, done. Easy and also peasy. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees, and I'm going to put the left side at the 2-inch mark. So if you're following along, that's halfway. So it's 4 inches wide. I'm scoring at 2 inches, halfway. Okay. Wait a minute. What am I doing here? Stop it. Stop it. No, 2 5/8. Sorry. 2 5/8 is, so just so you know, no matter how fuzzy your math is or what kind of new math you're doing, half of 5 1/4 is not 2. It's 2 5/8. I was like, man, that does not look right. How many of you were screaming? Nobody? Okay, good. You weren't even watching. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to score at 2 5/8, and I'm only going to, and it's actually, I'm going to cut, but only to my score line. Okay, so that means I'm going to put the left side at 2 5/8. I'm going to bring my cutting tool up, and I'm going to cut just until I get to the 2-inch line. Okay, so here we go. Down, and I'm just lining that little mark up with my score line. Okay, that's all there is for that. Now I'm going to turn it the other way, and I'm going to score, or I keep saying score. I'm now talking about cutting. Okay, so just hear what I am trying to say. Hey Denise, yes, hollering at myself. Yes, what a dork. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is from each end, I'm going to cut 1 1/8 inch just down to this score line. Okay, so I'm going to line the left side up here with the 1 1/8 inch mark, and roll my cutter up, and then bring it down just to the score line, like that. Okay, and then I'll use this 1 1/8 inch over here, like that, and come down just to the score line, like so. Okay, so now you have this kind of bizarrely cut thingy. And all we're going to do, this is where the impossible piece comes. We're going to hold the left side, and we're going to twist like this and score, or fold, sorry, fold at the center. Okay, so all I did was hold and twist and let the center score fold. And now you have this bizarre looking piece of cardstock. Okay, all right, so there's that. Now we're going to take 2 pieces of the butterfly bijou, and these are 2 1/2 by 3 7/8. And what I'm going to do, now look, I'm going to tell you this right, because what we've done is we're taking a piece like this, see, and I'm going to cut over at 1 inch, and I'm going to cut down 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to come down 2 inches, and then we're going to cut into the 2 inches. So we're taking this piece out, and we're going to create an L-shaped piece of paper. Both of these pieces take the same L shape. If you use a DSP that has an up and a down, a right and a wrong, an in and an out, you're going to want to do one, and then make sure that you turn your other DSP around like that. Did that make sense? The easiest thing to do, of course, is use one that's just got little blobs and slobs and things all over it so that it doesn't matter which side is up and which side is down. Okay? Now, what I would suggest is keeping your little template. Make a template, a little piece of paper. This actually happens to be a packing slip from Stampin' Up. Yes, Denise, that is how that fold is made, right there. Yes. So I would make yourself a template like this and then keep it where you can see it, because actually this to me is a little more impossible-ish than this. Okay. Once you see this done, it becomes way less impossible, right? Now you're like, oh man, that's so easy. Not impossible at all. This one is a little harder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep my template where I can see it. I'm going to put the right side at the 1-inch mark. And I'm going to bring the cutter down to the 2-inch mark, like that. Okay. Now I want this piece gone. So I'm going to put this side at 2 inches, and I'm going to come from the bottom up to the 2-inch mark, like that. Okay. And there I have L piece number 1. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing. And I don't have to worry about ups and downs. Okay. So let's do it again. I'm going to put one side at the 1-inch mark, and I'm going to come down to the 2-inch mark, like that. Okay. Then I'm going to put this side at 2 inches, and I'm going to come up just to the cut. Okay, like that. And that, as they say in the industry, I don't know which one, but some industry somewhere says this, is that. And now you can see those fit right there. And this fits right here. You can see how if you were using a directional kind of a DSP, that you might want to, you know, think that through a little bit better. And I also got a little bit carried away right there, but it'll be okay. Okay, now I'm going to use liquid glue and adhere this. Do you hear birds? It's possible you hear birds. It is a gorgeous spring day here. And I think the birds are like, yeah, yeah, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful day. Okay, and then we're just going to adhere this on. You can see I have really the same kinds of margins that I normally do, right? Just kind of a little less than 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And we'll go ahead and adhere this on. And then I'm going to do the back and get it on before I put this onto the card base, just because it's a little easier playing with it all when this is not on there. Okay, so this can sit aside for just a moment, and I'm going to take a piece of basic white, and in Magenta Madness, okay, I am going to stamp my welcoming window sentiment. No, I'm not. I am not going to do that. I should stop that at once. That is not what I want to do. That goes on the other side. Let me start again. Okay, in Calypso Coral, I am going to stamp the pretty little picture from Welcoming Window, and I'm just going to do it in the bottom right corner. This may be one of my favorite stamps ever. See how it gives you so much definition? It's gorgeous. Beautiful. It's beautiful. And then I'm going to make Misty Moonlight leaves. So these are not real leaves. No, these are Misty Moonlight leaves. Nobody has Misty Moonlight leaves, but I do. And I'm going to stamp this, my second favorite image. And then in Magenta Madness, yes, there was some madness there. Hey, Daryl, appreciate you joining. Aw, I hope you're having, it looks like you might be having a stressful day, Daryl. I am sorry about that. Okay, then I'm going to take this six little bloomies. It's the second part of the stamp image. And I'm going to stamp it in Magenta Madness, like so. And then in Misty Moonlight, I'm going to stamp this adorable little... First, I'm going to wipe it off a little bit because I've got a terrible mess going on there. Terrible mess. Just a terrible mess. I'm going to stamp it in the corner in Misty Moonlight. Okay. No, we're not. We're in Georgia, just south of Atlanta. So yeah, the birds have been going crazy the last couple of days. They are enjoying... Let me show you a little trick here. This is quite easy to line up, but it isn't so easy if you can't see it. If you can't see where the corner is. So put your white cardstock on a dark contrasting color. I've just got a little stack of sticky notes there. That way I can see where my corner is and get this corner image lined up. Like so. Okay. All right. Now that is all of that. And I will put this away. We'll get it out again for the envelope, but we don't need to do that quite this quick. Okay, now I'm going to adhere this to It's Misty Moonlight Matte. Come here. I know. My husband is outside right now. We're building 2 new beds this year. We're going to do a couple of new perennial beds. So I'll have one that has asparagus in it. And we're going to try strawberries again. We're going to have to do some serious fencing because the deer are like watching from the pasture going, oh my gosh, what do you think they're planting for us? What do you think they're planting for us? We're going to love it, whatever it is. We're sure of that. Okay, now I'm going to adhere this to the back of my card base that I made earlier with some liquid glue. Now, when I made the model, I did this after, and it's really just a little easier to do it before you get everything on the front of the card. So, you know, your choice, of course. You can do this whenever. Heck, you can even skip it. If you don't want to be able to write a note and you just want to have your basic sentiment, don't even put this on the back. No one will know the difference. Okay. Now, the only trick now is to make sure that the card goes on right side up. Okay, but we can do that. That's easy peasy. Easy peasy and done. Easy peasy and done. Okay, so I have a little piece of white, basic white, and I'm going to stamp those 2 little corner things again in Misty Moonlight. So I'll get my sticky note back out. I'm just going to put it in these 2 corners. Like that. The putting it against a darker background really helps, just so you can see where to put it. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and it is from Welcoming Window. Yes, grapes, carrots. They took out my raspberries. They left them all spring, all summer. Not one was touched. And I've got like, I think we have 3 or 4 raspberries and 3 or 4 blueberries up on the patio of the barn. So, I mean, like, they had to come really close to humanity to get them, but they didn't touch them until like October. And we went out there one day and they were, all of the raspberries were stripped naked. They had left the blueberries. And then I guess it got to where they were desperate for something green and tasty, and they came through and took out the blueberries. The blueberries are budding now, so I think they have survived, but the raspberries are looking pitiful. So I'm going to give them a few more weeks because I'm assuming it's possible that raspberries would come behind blueberries, but they aren't looking so great, I just have to say. All right, and then we're going to stamp this, and you can see I'm over on this side because I'm going to cover the other side with a butterfly. Oh, butterflies are free to fly, fly away, fly away. Aren't you glad I'm a stamper and not a singer? Like, there's no way you could be a singer, Mary. Just no stinking way. Give it up. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little liquid glue and put this on this little top foldy piecey right here. Okay. And then I'm going to take my 2, Oh, we had a crashing of acrylic blocks. I'm going to take my Misty Moonlight butterfly and give him a little curl. Now here's the only trick. We're just going to adhere him with some liquid glue, but you want him to be up enough that he doesn't interfere there. And that made me think, I think I'll go ahead and put this on first. You're going to want to use liquid glue here because you need to be able to squiggle it around a little bit. And seal or some other adhesive would not allow you that luxury. And just go ahead and put your glue on the whole back piece. And then before you do something dumb, see? Okay, I want it to be like that. So I'm going to flip it like that, and then like this. And then just lay one side down first. And get it lined up, you know, eyeball it to be right, and then make the second side be right and straight. And there you go. Done and done. Now you have a nice solid card that will lay flat to go in your envelope, and you're done. You see what I'm saying? It's good to go. Okay, now let's go ahead and put Mr. Butterfly on. And we just want to be sure that he's up enough that his wing, this wing here, does not interfere with the card sitting up like that. And it does not, so that looks pretty well perfect. Now, I'm going to take a little bit. Oh, your hibiscus? Oh, that is sad. I know, deers with munchies. I don't know. It's not legal here in Georgia for recreational use, but maybe they didn't get the memo. Okay, so I've cut the detailed butterfly with out of some vellum, and I'm just going to put some of my fine tip liquid glue right along its little body, like that. And then I'm going to adhere that right in the middle. Now, the fine tip glue takes a little extra time. See, it does not grab right away, so you got to give it a few seconds to catch up. Meanwhile, with your not dominant hand, attempt to stick the little pin back in the glue bottle. That will keep you occupied while you're waiting for the butterfly to stick. Or it will just frustrate you to the point where you just can't stand it anymore. So then what you do is you stop trying and you take one of your ink pads and you just lay it down so that it has time to dry. And then you can actually thread this little needle with both hands and your eyeballs that don't work. Okay, now I'm going to color a couple of Pearl Basic jewels. Hello? Where's my little ones? Oh, little ones. Here they are. I'm going to use my dark Misty Moonlight blend. Now, here's just a little thing. This is a gotcha. Just saying. Let it dry. You could also use a glue dot, but you have to be pretty careful or you can see it. Okay? So, just saying. You can see it if you're not careful. So, let these dry, because even though it's alcohol and it seems like it would dry quickly, sometimes it doesn't dry as quickly as you think it should. So, while that's doing and that's drying, I'll go ahead and make my envelope. See, this is called time management. It's a little thing I just made up. Yeah, I got nothing. If I'd been really time managing, of course, I would have done this envelope while I had everything else out, but I did not. So again, inking up my picture, making sure I'm putting it on the front at the bottom and not not upside down, because I have done that. Just saying, I've done that. Oh, there we go. And now I will use a little Misty Moonlight. It could happen. Misty Moonlight. The 70s called and they want their flowers back. All right. Now I'm going to tell you, let me show you what I did on the other envelope. Does that look different? It should, because it is. See the difference? I stamped the flowers upside down. So instead of just scrapping it, I turned them around and I put them on the right way. And so now it just looks like it's a really, really, really full bouquet. That's what I say. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, it's my card. And yes, everybody give Mary a blue thumbs up and hope she doesn't stick her finger in the in the blue and get it all over everywhere. Okay, so this time I'm actually going to try to stamp it right ways up. That looks right. Now I have to say, Magenta Madness is not my favoriteest color ever, but I think it looks really pretty with Misty Moonlight myself. I think it's really pretty like that. Okay, and then we'll put a little bit of the DSP on the flap. And just a safety tip, it's really a lot easier if you put the envelope on the flat. No, if you put the glue on the flap and not on the DSP, like I did a couple weeks ago. It's way, way less messy. Way. Okay, so this is done. All we are having left to do now is put our little pearls onto our card, and we're doneske. We're doneske. See how easy? Not so darned impossible after all, is it? Not even. But don't tell your recipient. Just kind of, you know, you know how bakers, when they've made something really easy, but they want their families to think it was hard, they'll like flue flour all over themselves a little bit and kind of look exhausted. Well, put some ink on your fingers and kind of wilt a little bit when your recipient sees it, and you'll be like, yeah, I did that, and it is that hard. It is so hard. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our colored, It's sitting right in front of me, isn't it? You see it, don't you? You know what I'm looking for, right? Goodness. I got nothing, man. I do not know where my doohickey, that doohickey thing went. So I'm going to use my scissors. Maybe. And I'm going to pick up my little doohickeys. Oh my gosh, I'm devastated without my tweezers. Wait a minute. If I ever lose my tweezers for real, that'll be the day I have to put in my resignation. I'll be like, yeah, I can't do it. I found them. I'd flung them too far away. So I'm just going to put a couple right here, like this. And that's going to do it for our card. There we go. So, there it is. And you get 2 cards for the price of 1. Easy and also peasy. Hey, Margaret. Thank you, Pam. This is the Misty Moonlight version. This is the Bermuda Bay version. Whichever one makes you happy is the one that you should make, or come up with another color combination. There's also a smallish one. The thing that's kind of driving it is that you want a smallish butterfly, because otherwise you get a little too much room. But you could absolutely use this mint macaron and use mint macaron for your mat, and I'd still use the same DSP. Absolutely would, with absolute confidence. Because why? Because the Stampin' Up! Artist told me it would be okay. All right, guys, I appreciate you spending part of your Thursday with me, and I hope to see you on Saturday on my Facebook. Have a wonderful rest of your week and a great beginning to your weekend. And don't forget, get your special bundle, your butterfly bouquet special bundle. Get it ordered. All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.